Howdy y'all, it's Laird. Want to apologize at the end of the last video. I got very deep, probably a bit more personal than y'all care for me to be as a content creator. Keep that separation some people insist on, but y'all are my friends. I care about y'all too much to be that impersonal. With that in mind, let's press on to Act 4. It's an animatronic mammoth. Manual 5.4, Context Backlash. General wear on the gestural gear mounting apparatus, 5A-1, may result in undesirable play between teeth and in the context and history state machine gears, causing stuttering, slippage, resetting, or skipping. Well, guess it could be slippage. If left unresolved, gear slop can gradually throw limbs out of alignment, blend motions, and decontextualize gestures. See also sections 1.8 General Troubleshooting and 5.3 Gesture Context. Troubleshooting. Okay. Manual 1.8 General Troubleshooting. Technicians of sufficient talent and expertise may skip this section. General troubleshooting techniques include hammering with something plastic until the stability becomes apparent, watching until the texture clears up, or asking a friend to share their insight. Maybe I ought to read it back to front. My savior, our friend here is in a bad way. Any insight? Time to put that mammoth out to pasture, Will. Oh, I feel certain she's got a few trips left in her. If only she had a more capable surgeon. Sadly, mechanics are in short supply down here. I think the setting is too romantic. It scares them all off. And what brings you down to the Echo tonight? I always end up here, eventually. The river's like that. Always has been. We picked you up at the Bureau tonight. Never seen you that far upriver before. Hope that doesn't mean you've been traveling on the Zero. Yeah, have you been there? The Zero? Oh, no, not me. This old river rat steers clear of weird highways. I've been traveling this river for more than half my life, more or less alone. I think I've seen it change quite a bit in all those years, but can't say for sure. The water has a peculiar way of making a person forgetful. Some nights I remember a place, but it's full of strange new people. Some nights I meet an old friend on an unfamiliar shore. I wonder which kind of night this is. Act 4, Scene 1. The Mucky Mammoth. Singing quietly. For we on mold and whiskey fed. Oh! Wet gears. Wet gears? Who knows? First thing I tried anyways. Down there by this little blue box, I took all the gears out and dried each one by hand. Then I loaded them back in again. That took care of the grinded sound, but her trunk keeps doing that sparking, clanking, weeping thing. To be honest with you, I'm not really qualified for this work. Kate's a friend. You know how it is. What's your story, Will? Story? Well, I like to listen to them. I like to tell them, but I don't really have one of my own. I also don't have a permanent address or a pickup truck or any change of clothes. I wash my laundry in the river, and in that moment, I'm truly free. I don't even have any shoes. Hey, I should tell you where I left my shoes. Did you know I'm a classically trained organist? It's true. Look at these long fingers and pedal gripping toes. Doesn't matter. A minor in French literature earned me a position teaching Artois to Zola at the university. Well, some governor cut state funding for our department and I was demoted to mopping floors, running wiring through walls or in dangerous places. I even operated the soundboard at student theater. Left my shoes there at the university. It was a protest. Walk without shoes for something important or tragic. I ended up by the shore and soon I was drifting along the Echo. Ran for a while above ground then. Doesn't anymore. But I prefer subterranean waters anyway. Kate brings me along and I record what I see and hear. I try to help with maintenance. I drop off the mail, pick up the trash. On occasion I take the helm. Anyway, that's all I try to remember anymore. I listen to the river stories and my own stories get fainter and fainter. Oh, talk to Kate. Could you ask her when she stops for gas? Could she pick me up a scratch ticket? Thanks. That lifeboat seems mighty inaccessible. How's that cold river spray treating you? Thought I saw you squinting. It's hard water, you know. Hard on the eyes. It still irritates mine a little, and I'm piloting a tugboat through it 6 nights a week. Don't be too shy to close them in public. Your eyes, I mean. People will just assume you're thoughtful. You need tea. So, dried reishi, definitely. Split gill powder? Maybe toad. Just kidding. Turkey tail fungus, pomegranate, sun-dried oyster cap, and shiitake. What are all those for? Eye strain. Dried reishi masks the taste of the rest of it. Sun-dried oyster cap in particular has a eccentric flavor profile. It's mushroom based. I'm a big believer in the fungal pharmacy. How far are we from Dogwood Drive? The Echo's dicey tonight. Bad luck for you. Expect waves and diversions. Dogwood Drive is by the Silo mail stop, but maybe spend some time on the indirect route before we hit your stop, okay? And there's other business. Mail to drop off, garbage to pick up, a few favors to execute. All dotted on the riverbanks from here to there. Hope you enjoy the trip on our little mammoth. Take advantage of all the amenities. Fresh air, cozy bunks, hot tea, video room. There are some pretty interesting tapes down there, actually. Unusual, I mean. Weird. Watch out, that VCR just take your hand off, though. It's untrustworthy. What's wrong with the VCR? I could take a look. Oh, please do. I don't know anything about electronics. Maybe try a few different tapes. You'll get the picture. I saw you talking to Will. He's an old friend. Don't be fooled by that burned out aura. He's a smart and kind man. I think his only vice is those silly scratch tickets. Speaking of which, we're coming up on our next stop shortly. Refueling, picking up a few things. Well, eyes on the road. Ezra runs up to Shannon. Whoa, slow down. It's slippery up on deck. Do you have batteries? Yeah, of course. Like 4. Johnny said I could use his tape recorder, but it needs a battery. Oh, fun. Well, Shannon searches her pockets. Here's 4 different kinds. Surely one of these should fit. Thank you. Really? You were in trance. You don't remember this? It's okay. We've all seen a lot of concerts. Cyrano opened. His tape machine was broken or something. It got really cosmic. Right. At the flower shop. I remember that show. Sorry, Clara. Well, you have a second chance to hear it tonight. That was fast. Got the batteries. Let's see. Perfect. This one will do. So you hit this button here to record. Hold it right here so you don't cover the microphone with your hand. I bet you'll find a lot of good sounds just around the tugboat. Plenty of tape in there, so don't be stingy with it. Just record anything that catches your ear. It really changes the way you listen. For the better, I mean. Are you playing a concert tonight? I could record that. Yeah, Clara here came all the way down from Lithuania just to do this Echo River gig. It's a tour. Tomorrow I'll be in Nashville and then Atlanta, over to the coast. Brutal. Well, we're lucky she's making a stop. Johnny and I saw her play once and I remember loving it. Johnny was moved. Speaking of Cyrano, it's his night at the Rum Colony. Kate says she usually stops off there. Well, that's ideal. Supposed to meet a lady there to look at some old engine parts about 3 hours ago. 3 hours goes fast at the Rum Colony, ma'am. I bet she's still there. I hope we don't stop there too long. My concert is soon. I don't want to keep them waiting. Oh, it's river time. Nobody expects you to be punctual. Hey, why don't you give that tape recorder a try? See if that cat over there has anything he wants to say. I often use found sounds in my music. Find something interesting tonight. You can help me out. Wait, Conway's got a arm too now that's glowing and bony. I wonder if that's because he's gonna start working with that company. You know, it's the strangest thing. Can't remember why I came up here. Maybe you should slow down? Nah, I'm good. It's just that thing about... What was it? When you walk through a door, go into the kitchen for something, and as soon as you pass from one room into another, you forget what you wanted. You have to walk back out just to remember, like you left part of your brain behind. Hey, I wonder if I could follow that brain crumb trail all the way back to the room I was born in. Conway cranes his neck over the railing. Looks cold down there. Dark. You weren't in the cabin long. Get any sleep? You found beer. There's a cooler full down there. They say it just floated by, if you believe that. Got caught on some netting and they hauled it aboard. Bounty. Anyway, there's a sign by the cooler. Take what you need and leave the rest. Shannon leans over the railing and looks at the river below. It does look cold, doesn't it? Yeah. Better keep that kid away from the edge. A person could easily fall in. He's been exploring. He seems to keep himself entertained. It's good for him. It's important to know how to be alone. What's up, huh? Look like there's something you want to ask. Fine, you can ask it. One question. I thought you didn't drink. Well, I didn't. I mean, I did, then I didn't, then I did again. It's how it always goes. I drift out, finally wind up at Lisette's with my head between my legs, saying, never again. 15 months this last time. I think I hung on because I knew there wouldn't for much longer be anywhere to go back to. She went to live with her sister, and now she probably won't remember me for long anyway. One time, she picked me up out of a ditch by the road, blackout drunk at dawn. Came around later that night. She's taking care of me. Told her I didn't deserve it. She said I didn't have to deserve it. So, you'll go to the distillery instead? I've got to repay my debt. I should be grateful for the opportunity. If you want to die with any dignity, you've got to settle up. Well, it's such a shame when people go all of a sudden. Poor Conway, he's really starting to struggle. I'm sure I talk too much. Everyone on this river does. Problem is that we listen twice as much as that. We're only telling you half the stories we hear. Kate told me that I ought to have been a photographer. She said, "You have an uncanny way of having been in the place at the time the thing happened there." That's the hardest part of taking a photograph anyway. Nice of her to say, but it isn't true. Though I know just about every story on this river, most of them I picked up second, third, or fourth hand and so on. Listening. See? Now I know you're going to ask, so I'm going to answer it. Yes, I'm sure they're all true. I personally believe a story gets more true as it's tossed around from brain to brain, and the whole community brings their insights to bear on the brittle facts of the experience. There are a few Echo River stories I witnessed directly. Saw that big owl migration pass through and might have heard about that. I was there when the old train station flooded. Saw the ghost of Stephen Bishop brew up a batch of white lightning on a raft, or anyway, I talked to a few sailors who'd recently crossed paths with him and I suspect sampled his wares. One night when I was working on the Mucky Mammoth, we picked up a gaggle of passengers heading down to a mail drop by the silo of Late Reflections. I knew a couple of them passing. Pair of traveling musicians whom I often encountered on the river. The others were strangers to me at the time. A young woman, a small boy, and an old man whose name I didn't catch. Oh, and a smelly old dog. We docked at a gas station so the Mammoth could refuel. Ezra stayed on the tugboat and looked around the map room. Act 4, Scene 2. The Mucky Mammoth. Ezra watches the lake drift by. He sees a lone swimmer in a green vest, a floating gas station, a few worn telephone books tethered together with black rope, a school of green fish. What a relief. Thanks for taking the wheel. Our secret, okay? How do you know which way to turn? I just keep my eyes open. It's the most important part. Speaking of which, looking outside. Oh, hey, there's the gas station. I was hoping we'd cross paths soon. It just kind of drifts around you. You never quite know when you'll meet it. As you can see by this dial right here, our fuel situation is pretty desperate. I have a bad habit of letting that needle spend a lot of time in the red zone. We should only be docked at the gas station for a few minutes refueling. You might just want to stay aboard. So, do you like boats? I've never been on a boat before. Oh wow, well, here you are. Think this is as good a place to start as any. So, what else did I neglect to explain earlier? This area here is called the Wheelhouse. All of these gauges and controls help me understand what's going on with the Mucky Mammoth in our hull. This is a compass, but it doesn't work very well down here for some reason. Let's go by landmarks basically and lights. See those two lights on the sides of the boat? red one and a green one. All the other boats have them too. Some are different colors or in different configurations. If we cross paths with someone right away, I can work out what kind of boat they're in and what direction they're going, even in the dark. It's all about looking up here. The other half of piloting this boat happens down in the map room. Speaking of which, Kate peers out the window. Have we passed the big rock that looks like a dinosaur yet? No, but past a tall building covered in Christmas lights. River folks call that the Wheelhouse. Used to be an art museum, but their collection went out of fashion and they had to put it all in storage. Don't know who put those Christmas lights up. Some artist, I guess. It's weird. Should have definitely passed Dinosaur Rock by now. Kate looks out the window. Oh wait, there it is up ahead, see? Wow, that's my new favorite rock. It's great, right? What was your old favorite rock? A rock my aunt got in the mail from Arizona. It was bright green and she said it had good energy. Cool. It's strange though. According to my charts, we should have passed Dinosaur Rock before the lighthouse. But that's okay. Sometimes the charts need updating. Hey, Will is down in the map room right now. Could you run down and help him adjust the charts to move the lighthouse so it comes a little earlier on our route than Dinosaur Rock? The map room is down below deck on the lower level, right next to the sleeping quarters. I'll get on the intercom and let him know you're coming. Looks like Conway's had a few more beers. Salutations, small man. Kate says you have an adjustment for our chart. Good timing. Just checking my copies. That's how we keep our charts up to date as we pass through a section of the river or lake. I draw a new copy of the map and make adjustments for anything we see that doesn't match. Will points to a small drawing on the map. So, this is where we have Dinosaur Rock marked now. So dinosaur drawing, I drew that. What kind of dinosaur is it? Oh, you know, just a dinosaur. Will points to another small drawing on the map. And this here is where we thought the lighthouse was, but now I guess we gotta move it back a bit. But how far, I wonder? Any ideas? Anything else you remember about when you saw the lighthouse? I saw the clock. We passed the lighthouse 6 minutes before Dinosaur Rock. That'll do just fine, so let's see. Our current speed, that will give us a distance of about, an eighth of a mile, let's say. Will measures along the charted lake with a divider. Somewhere around here. Good enough, eh? That should do it for the new copy. Oh, made some other corrections. Tucked in the banks, a little made the section deeper, left off the scavengers that must have washed away. Scavenging the splinters. Shipwreck, my bad. Of course, it means a lot of clutter, all these copies. Say, Bill gestures to a pile of old maps. I was just about to throw this stack out. Maybe you'd like to hang on to one? They're out of date, but they could be fun to look at. They're mostly river charts, I think. Take a look through and see if one catches your eye. I don't have anywhere to put it. Yep, I hear that. I like to travel a lot myself. Well, thanks for your help with the chart adjustments. Our next stop is a bar called the Rum Colony. Guess you're not much of a barfly, but you like to run around on the beach, and the decor as well. I'd be curious to hear what you think of it. That gas station isn't anchored to anything. It follows the current. Might run into it anywhere along the river. Kate just starts looking for it when she's low on fuel and the echo provides. It's not usually on the lake, though. That was strange. Kate had a theory. She thought the rude weather upstairs was flooding the river. Everybody headed down to the lake to ride out calmer waters. Anyway, my mechanical musician friends went ashore for a bit, looking for some snack food, Kate doesn't stock anything aboard the Mucky Mammoth that doesn't grow wild. It's not everyone's taste, or maybe just to stretch their limbs and charge their batteries. They came back looking refreshed. Sure, they needed a moment to themselves. You wouldn't think a pair that made their living performing on a stage could be so introverted, but they really were in their way. Sure, they had plenty of friends along the river where they traveled and performed often the days, but I think nobody else ever really got through. That inner circle was drawn with two strokes, for a while anyway. Naturally, I assume they met the gas station attendant, a man as anonymous and as itinerant as the place itself. I assume he talked their ear off. Everyone on this river does, but I know that fellow well enough to know he wouldn't want us reminiscing on him now. So they came back aboard the Mammoth refueled. We ambled towards the Rum Colony. And that, my friends, is where I'm going to end this recording. I will see y'all in the next one.